Hi, my name is Pacifico Murphy, and this is a video documenting my journey through the process of curing my food allergies. The way that food allergies work is that when someone with allergies ingests a certain food, their immune system thinks it's harmful or dangerous and starts attacking it. The reaction caused from the body is what's known as an allergic reaction. Curing food allergies, it's almost unheard of. It's not like you can take a vaccine or pill and have them go away. Everyone's reactions to a food they're allergic to is different. For some people, these allergies are life-threatening, so they carry life-saving medicines like an EpiPen, and they have to be really careful of what they eat. For anyone suffering from food allergies, being able to eat anything they want would be life-changing. Luckily for me, my life is only in danger if I eat a large amount of the foods I'm allergic to. Using a blood test and a prick test, I'm allergic to peanuts, tree nuts, sesame, and shellfish. The way I react when I ingest an allergen is not pleasant. My mouth and throat swell up, and it feels like a million needles are poking my mouth from the inside out. I lived with these allergies for 15 years of my life.
Okay, so really quick, I want to tell you a story of when I just wasn't careful about my allergies at all. So there was an incident about in 7th grade where I ate an almost entire Choco Taco at the zoo, which is like this taco-shaped like ice cream treat, and I didn't realize that there was just sprinkled peanuts all over the top of it until I had eaten pretty much the whole thing. It was really painful, and I ejected it from my body. I'll spare you the details.
I had to carefully read labels and eat new foods very slowly and carefully. The way for me to lessen my reaction was to chug as much milk as possible. I would rarely feel the need to use Benadryl, and I've never had to use an EpiPen. I would always think, maybe by the time I'm an adult, there will be a cure. I would have never guessed there was already a way to treat it. My father had found the Southern California Food Allergy Institute from one of my mom's friends. Apparently, it's the largest food allergy treatment center in the world. According to their website, their goal is simple: for all children to safely eat whatever they want. As you scroll through their website, you can see these heartwarming stories of kids who had their lives completely changed from this program. The program itself is called the Tolerance Induction Program. They have a 99% success rate, which was promising. But before I actually started the treatment, we had to learn about how it works and what we could expect. While we were waiting on the wait list, we consulted my mom's friend whose kids were going through the program. Her kids had much more severe allergies than me, and it was going great for them. We also filled out a food consumption questionnaire where we described foods that were safe for me to eat, foods I'm allergic to, and foods that I eat regularly or rarely. Essentially, the foods I eat, how much, and how often. After about a year-long wait on the waiting list, we were given a video orientation letting us know about the program. It was all very overwhelming, and we had many questions. We wrote down a bunch of questions that we were going to ask on our first visit.
A food challenge is where your child is generally consuming anywhere from 10 to 30 grams of an allergen, and then we're going to have them exercise, and if they pass the challenge, then that specific food is going to be added to their list of maintenance foods, which will grow over time. Then you will have the food introduction. A food introduction is an introduction of something that your child is allergic to and cannot challenge right away. An introduction will involve introducing a small amount of that allergen in office and then having you guys go home and dose that allergen in an increasing fashion week by week to then come back and challenge it in office.
Don't worry if this doesn't make sense now. I'll be documenting the process so you can see it visually. In the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic, flying a multi-hour flight was very concerning. Unfortunately, the Institute has a very tight system, and if you didn't want to go for any reason, you get booted back to the waiting list. The airports were completely empty, like a ghost town. It was very scary for my dad and I, but we eventually made it. After resting in a hotel and enjoying the highly coveted In-N-Out burger, I was given a warm welcome in the Institute. The first thing we did was ask all our questions, and my mom joined us via FaceTime. I summarized most of the answers in how it works. The next thing we had to do with the doctor was describe specific incidents where I had an allergic reaction. This was pretty difficult since they all kind of blended together. There weren't many incidents that stood out. They wanted an idea of my overall health history with this first visit and that questionnaire. Next, I got tested for my allergies using the prick test I mentioned earlier. The way the prick test works is that they put a microscopic amount of an allergen onto a needle and press it into your back. Based on the swelling and the redness, it gives a rough idea of how badly someone is allergic to something. Unfortunately, the test isn't perfect, so analyzing blood is much more reliable. Later on, I got my blood drawn for the first time, which I was very reluctant to do. The guy doing it was very kind and helped me relax so that the blood could flow easier. And that was that. We grabbed some donuts and hopped back onto a flight and made it home safe. In early July of 2020, we were contacted via email telling me that I had to eat a certain amount of specific safe foods in a certain time frame. So for me, it was 1 apple, 1 pear, 1 stone fruit, which is peach, apricot, cherry, nectarine, or plums, 2 teaspoons cooked buckwheat, 1/2 teaspoon sunflower seed, and all of that 3 to 5 times per week. Even though we weren't sure how this was supposed to help the process, it sounded easy enough, and we went out and bought a bunch of fruit, some fresh and some dried. I decided to start a food journal to track the foods. The first week, I knocked it out of the park. I ate some of the required foods even more than 5 times. In the following weeks, however, it wasn't as easy. I had run out of dried fruit, and the fruit were becoming overripe too quickly, so I wasn't able to eat 3 of everything. Doing this project, I decided to get more on top of it, and I bought more fruit. I prefer to have my buckwheat mixed in with my oatmeal. Sometimes I'll have sunflower seeds straight, or I'll have some sun butter, which is a great alternative to peanut butter. For the fruit, I like this brand called Rind because it has the peel, and the peel is important for the fruit. And it's got the peach and apple, which I need, and also the pear, and then also apple, which I need, and then some other fruits. So I eat these, they're good to snack on. Yeah. The time had finally come for the second visit. They asked us to bring all of my medication, some coconut flour, and some chestnut flour, so we ordered some off Amazon. So in late August, we booked a flight and an Airbnb and began our journey. Things were going to get a bit more complicated, so we had to strap in. So my appointments fall on the first week of school, and so I had to figure out what classes interfere with appointments, and so which ones I can make and which ones I cannot make. So I had to convert all the time zones. And I'm going to have to make up a lot of work, but it's something I have to do. On day 1, I had patches placed on my back for 24 hours. This is another way of seeing how my body reacts to certain foods. I would have to stay still all day. Then, I went and took a pulmonary function test, which basically measures how well my lungs are doing, and I didn't do well. Even though I'm athletic, my asthma causes my lung capacity to be far less than others. This is me, and this is the average. This is my score on the FeNO test, which measures lung inflammation, 84, and this is the chart. Yeah, really not good. I'll come back to this later. Now it's time for my first food challenge. In this clip, I'm challenging almonds, a nut that I'm already comfortable eating. So I'm challenging it right now to make sure that I'm good to go. Step 1, I eat the food, usually mixed in some chocolate or in some applesauce. Step 2 is to exercise for 5 minutes, and then they check my vitals to see how my body responded.
It is true. It tests the electrical impulses that your heart produces as it pumps blood through the body. Cool. Whoa, that's my heartbeat. Sure looks like it.
Oh wait, no, it's not. Never mind.
Yeah, it is. There's a little mountain for your heartbeat.
The white
Very
line up top.
low resting heart rate.
Every time your heart beats, it sends an electric impulse that makes it seize, and so it goes boom, boom. And that's what that is right there. It's the electric impulse that's making your heart contract and relax.
Right.
I'm also going to put this on your finger. You're all hooked up. You're like a robot now.
Yeah.
You're fully charged and ready for battle. Ready for this food challenge.
Mhm.
Ready to beat up your food allergies.
You're a cyborg. Look. Secret.
So this is the ground up almond. We measure it out to 20 grams.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we'll just mix this in with the applesauce and you can take your time eating it, okay?
Yep.
Alright, here you go.
Cool. Sounds like oatmeal.
Yes.
Alright, I guess
Here we
it's okay if I
go.
put on this. Okay. I'm just gonna. Sorry.
The first bite took me 3 times!
Yes.
Awesome. Freedom.
Yeah.
Is this good?
That's
Okay.
That's great. Alright, exercise time. So I'm going to try to give you some space. You can do jumping jacks, you can run in place,
Alright.
This little thing right here is
you can jump from dot to dot.
From dot to dot?
Yeah,
That's your, so like center in the, okay.
whatever you want to do, just as long as you stay moving for 5 minutes.
Alright. No.
Ready, go.
What you can do is fist pumps. You can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
You've done it good. Alright, jump back up there. We're going to check your vitals really quick.
Happy New Year.
We'll get you plugged in. Happy New Year, I know. Alright, so we got one here. One up here. One here. Colton and I are out of breath. I'll do this part.
Wait, were you supposed to be coughing the whole time? Or was that
No, he
fun?
just likes to do it.
Yeah, this is my excuse to get my exercise.
Look at those
today.
mountains. Look at that. Look at the difference. You see? That's what we
Yeah.
want. You did awesome.
Those almonds you ate are going to move much faster through your system.
142. Yes.
Awesome. Is that?
Oh, 151. Wow.
Mhm.
That's amazing. We always ask for at least over 150 and we did it. First challenge done!
That's so
Yay!
It was a lot of exercise, but after I completed the challenges, they were added to my list of maintenance foods. I have to eat a certain amount of each one every day. More on this later. After the challenges, we met with a doctor who told us more about how this works. Here's basically what he said. So the first thing we got from the doctor was this finalized allergy spectrum, which was a combination of basically all the tests that I've done. And the way it's laid out is there's the LGE, which are the bad guys, those are pro-allergy, and the LGG, which are pro-tolerance, and those are the good guys. So here in the tolerance section, these are foods that I regularly eat, and that's where there are way more LGG than there are LGE, and therefore I don't experience any reaction. Now toward the sensitized section, on this half, these are also foods that I regularly eat, but there are LGE present, which are the bad guys, but there are enough good guys to cancel out the bad guys, essentially. Now, on this half of the sensitized section, these are foods that I generally avoid, especially shellfish. And there are some LGG present, but enough LGE to make me experience a reaction. And in the anaphylactic section,
there are very little LGG, which are the good guys, and a lot of LGE. And so it's the way the chart is set up is it goes this way. So out of all of my anaphylactic foods, sesame is my least anaphylactic and cashew is my most anaphylactic. So it makes sense for me to start out with sesame because that's, out of all my severe foods, that is the one to start out with and then work my way up. Another thing is that doing treatment foods like almond and sunflower, they help me already start to tackle things like cashew. Eating apple, apparently they're related to cashews. So by eating apples, I'm already starting to prepare my body to start dosing for cashew, which is really interesting. And some kids in their anaphylactic section, they have foods all the way over here. Thankfully, I'm a little bit less severe, you know. I won't die if I breathe in some dust of cashew, so I'm over here. So pardon all the extra writing, but my daily medications that I got prescribed was the Xyzal, which prevents environmental allergies, because we don't want the environmental allergies interfering with my food allergies, because if they combine, it could be bad for me. And the QVAR is to prevent my asthma, because on my pulmonary function test, I did so poorly. And so they really want my lungs to be in the best shape to consume these foods. And that's further supported by dust mite precautions. Just avoid dust, avoid a lot of that kind of thing that could trigger my asthma. So I'm not gonna finish this documentary in time for me to finish all of this dosing and all the way up to visit 8. So if you want to see my entire plan, here you go. It's formatted a little bit strangely. And then my maintenance, at least for now, is 8 almonds, 1 macadamia, 1/4 teaspoon coconut flour, and 1/2 teaspoon chestnut flour every single day. And I have been doing that as of this filming. And there has to be a 4-hour gap between the maintenance food and the treatment food. So I usually do maintenance in the morning and treatment food in the evening, and I'll go over that again. So what do I do if I start having a reaction? Well, here are the symptoms of anaphylaxis here. I definitely experience a few of these, and a few of these I don't experience. And I can definitely tell when I'm starting to react very quickly. So what do we do? How do we respond? So there's different scenarios. So scenario 1, possible injection, probably ate something but not sure. So these are the procedures, and we had to buy all this medicine, and we are very ready to jump into any of these scenarios. So scenario 2, small ingestion, non-anaphylactic. So I have to take all of this and, call them to let them know that it happened. Scenario 3, this is really bad, definite ingestion and anaphylaxis, and I have to really just get on top of this as fast as possible. Just take all of this stuff, which we all have, ready to go. So yeah, we are all ready, prepared for the worst. Now I'm dosing for things I am allergic to. So here I dosed for sesame seed, hazelnuts, and finally pine nut. Since I'm not challenging them, I didn't have to exercise, I'm just dosing them. Now, in these clips, I'm a little nervous. Putting foods I know I'm allergic to in my mouth is a little like jumping when skydiving. Your brain says, no, that's dangerous, and it makes it really hard to do. I had to wait 15 minutes in between 3 doses and see what symptoms I got. They're all in gummy form except for pine nuts, which means the dosage is really small inside the gummy.
Every time you get a new gummy, you're going to start with sesame. It's always going to have the dose on here, okay?
Okay.
This little box is 2.5 milligrams. That's 5, 25, and 100. So today you're going to start with 5 milligrams.
So I shouldn't experience any sort of reaction when I eat.
You
that,
shouldn't.
right? Okay.
But I can't say absolutely you won't.
Right.
There's a chance you will have a reaction, okay? Itchy mouth, stomach.
I need to tell you, right?
Yeah, you have to tell me everything.
Yeah, okay, gotcha.
Now, the introductions in office, the first gummy you eat, you have to chew for 30 seconds, okay? And that's just to get you used to the texture.
Get it all in my mouth.
Move it around really well.
Alright, I'm a little nervous.
Got this, there you go. So keep chewing, move it around, and I'll tell you when you can swallow.
Wash it all down?
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright.
So let me just. No, I'm not experiencing any sort of reaction. No.
Itchy skin at all?
No.
Upset stomach?
No, not nothing in my mouth. I
Okay,
feel
I'll
good.
take the back.
Oh, thank you.
And then I'll look at your skin again. Have your look here. Your throat feels the same when you swallow?
Yeah. Oh man, that was actually kind of nerve-wracking. Because it's like I know I'm allergic to it. You know, it's like my body's like, no, why are you doing this?
Yeah, but you gotta remember it's a super tiny amount, and over, let's see here, you are going to be, your plan will be 8 weeks. So over that 8 weeks, we're gonna slowly build you up.
Right.
Okay.
So after I ate the gummy, I was experiencing some mild symptoms. I think it was like a 2 out of 10 is what I described it as. And so they gave me some Starburst to suck on, which makes me produce more saliva, which helps with the reaction a little bit. And so yeah, I mean, it was a little bit uncomfortable, but hopefully I'll become more tolerant.
Doing hold on, let me flip the camera. He's doing what are you doing, Pacifico?
This is pine nut. We find that. Alright, it's right here. Alright.
Okay.
Alright, ready and chew for 30 seconds.
Yes. If you can. It may feel a little challenging, but
It'll be funny, he's being dramatic.
I know.
No, I'm really nervous actually. Y'all don't know how it feels. Just pop them both in the
oh no, just one, the big one.
Oh,
Yeah,
just the
that
big
one.
one. Okay.
And you're gonna chew right there. I'll tell you when to swallow. So keep chewing, move it all around. How'd you like the flavor?
Yeah, it's good. It's
Pretty good?
yeah.
All right.
And then how about this?
That one you could just chew and swallow. You don't have to hold it for 30 seconds.
Okay. So just to be clear, after this visit, every day in the morning I take my maintenance foods. Right now, those are 8 almonds, 1 macadamia nut, a 1/4 teaspoon of coconut flour, a 1/2 teaspoon of chestnut flour daily. I'm not increasing the dosing at all for those. Then, after at least a 4-hour period in between, in the evening, I take my treatment foods. That's my sesame seed gummies, hazelnut, and pine nut daily. Those increase weekly over an 8-week period until my next visit. Throughout the week, I eat my recommended foods whenever. Again, those are the fruits, buckwheat, and sunflower seeds. Now all that's left to do is dose. So the way we decided to have it set up was we just have these really cool plastic containers full of that are labeled, and they're full of different nuts. Here my hazelnut, and here are the flowers. And here we have these little packets with like a little container full of all the powder, or all the flour, and then the nuts. And then every week I just fill up 6 of those, and then I can just grab them every morning. Pretty easy. That's how I do my maintenance food. Okay, so this is my first at-home dosing. I'm going to start with 2.5 milligrams. It's in a gummy form of sesame. Sorry. It's sesame gummy. And I'm a little bit nervous. I need a hand hold.
Do you need me to time you for 30 seconds?
Yes, please, actually. Sorry.
You go, girl.
And then a timer for 15 minutes.
Hold on.
Well, I mean, I know it's 6 right now, so I don't think we need.
Ready and go.
Yes, I know.
Y'all don't know how it feels.
Sorry. 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1.
I need water to switch it down. Okay, now you have to monitor me. Okay, you can stop. You can stop. Stop. Okay, this is my 1 pine nut. Okay, so week 1 is over, and now I'm updosing to 5 milligrams of sesame, and I'm pretty sure that this is what made me react in the facility. So let's see if I'm any more tolerant. It's actually going to be quite hard to get out, actually.
And go.
Okay, so 15 minutes has passed since I took the sesame, and it really wasn't as bad as I was expecting. It was only like the slightest tingle in my mouth, like I could barely tell. Oh, I guess this time, instead of like a bigger gummy, I just get 2 gummies, so, yeah. We're doubling, actually, the hazelnut from 25 milligrams to 50. So, it's a lot of milligrams. If I can get it out of there. It's always a struggle getting it out of there. You can actually see like the little bits of like chunky, like little chunks of, or shards or whatever we want to call it, of hazelnut in there. Alright, I guess. Cheers. Okay, so it is week 3, and I'm going from 5 milligrams sesame to 10 milligrams sesame. So after that last batch of gummies, of hazelnuts, that was actually the largest that I could go. So now I'm graduating to crushed up hazelnuts. So that was 225 milligrams before, and now I'm going to 1/8 of a teaspoon. So it has to be ground up, but still a little bit chunky so that I can really like taste it. So I'm just gonna take, let's say like a good amount. Save the rest for emergencies. I guess now we grind. Oddly satisfying video. Okay. Okay, and that is how you make crushed hazelnut. Only the most experienced chefs can make it, but you know, with perseverance you can do it. So I haven't been recording all of them. All of my doses, all of my up doses, but just for reference, this is what I'm at right now as of week 5. So 1/8 teaspoon crushed hazelnut, 3 milligrams sesame, and 9 pine nuts. All spaced out 15 minutes, by the way. And we're back in California. So this is going to be my 3rd visit in total here. And so tomorrow I have to do the pulmonary function test again to check up on how I'm doing. But during this visit, I'm going to be passing hazelnut, I'm going to be passing pine nut, but I'm going to be continuing sesame.
So you have 2 doses, a total of 6 grams. After this, you can eat as much pine nuts as you want. There's no limit on it.
Okay, sweet. Oh, cool.
Anything itchy in your mouth, in your throat? No?
Yeah, no, I've never ever experienced anything with pine nut or hazelnut. It was just a sesame.
Alright.
Okay, this is good.
But once they move to maintenance and they're uncapped, you can have like, you know, the flavored, all
cool.
the flavored kind.
Alright.
He's going to challenge it, and then it's going to be capped at 2 grams, which I'm not sure, I can't remember if it's an 1/8 teaspoon or a 1/4 teaspoon.
Oh, okay.
So I mean, that's a maximum, but like, so if I eat like 1 sushi, right, that
shouldn't be more than 2
Yeah.
grams, right?
Right. But since you'll be capped, we want you to have that exact amount
That exact
every
amount,
single day.
okay.
But if you were
Okay,
to,
got it,
example,
got it,
eat
got
it
it,
on
got it, got it.
accident,
It's okay.
Oh, okay, got it. Cool. Okay.
We'll drink it, and then we're gonna keep adding water to it to make sure that we get it all.
Okay, so we're back. I'm back home, and it's November 5th. And so now my maintenance foods have been added. So pine nut and hazelnut, which were previously treatment foods, are now maintenance foods. So here's what it looks like. So I have my bag. So it is 8 almonds, 1 macadamia nut, 4 whole hazelnuts, and 30 pine nuts, along with still the 1/4 teaspoon coconut powder and 1/2 teaspoon chestnut flour. Measuring all these out took quite a long time, but now my bag of nuts are looking pretty diverse. Okay, so after that first week of just eating sesame gummies, that final week, I'm now graduating to crushed up sesame seed, and so I have to put those in this thing and grind them up. I'm so nervous handling this. Okay, so we got sesame in here. It was very scary opening that package, but now I have to grind it up to about the consistency of Nerds candy. Feels kind of like grains. Like it's like rice almost. Okay, well, with a little bit of fatherly assistance, got our bag of sesame. God, I've just been staring at it. Okay, this is it. This is my... I'm so scared. Oh, okay. Alright, this is it. It tastes like nothing. What's the point? Why do you put it on your burgers? Why do you put it on your bread? What's the point?
I told you, it doesn't taste like anything.
Yeah, I'm starting to feel it in my mouth, just kind of my lips and everything. So I'm taking two Benadryl chewable tablets. This is just for scenario 1, for anaphylaxis. Okay, hopefully I'll feel better in a little bit. Okay, so after lying down and having some Benadryl, starting to feel a little bit better. It was, yeah, I think it helped. I'm just gonna lie down for a little while longer. Okay, so this is me eating Brazil nut. They're in gummy forms. This is 20 milligrams. They are yellow color. Here we go. So here's how the peanut works. So out of this bag you get this little tube, and at first glance it seems empty, but what they've actually done is they've taken the proteins that I'm allergic to and they've put it into this flask, right? So I take this syringe and I fill it with water, just normal drinking water, and I open it. I open the peanut, and then I just inject it with water, and I close it, shake it around, and then I open it up carefully, and it's just like drinking water in very small sips. And so I have to do that 4 times just to make sure that all the peanut protein is out of there. Quick little update. A few minutes have passed and I don't feel anything, which is insane. I was expecting to feel like a little something, but just nothing at all, and that's crazy, and I'm so happy. Because like I just ate like straight up sesame, and like I'm fine, and this got me really excited for the future.
Okay, so after 4 weeks of doing 1/8 teaspoon sesame, I'm finally going on to 1/4 teaspoon. Now, what I'm nervous about this is, up until like yesterday, I'm still like kind of like having a teeny bit of reaction to 1/8 teaspoon sesame. So I don't know how 1/4 teaspoon is gonna feel, and the answer is probably not very good. But, well, you gotta do it. Well, and I'll update you in a bit. It literally wasn't that bad. I don't know why my mouth decides to react more, sometimes more than others, but who knows.
Hey, so we're back in Cali for what's going to be the last time for this project, but I still have a lot more visits to go. I think COVID-wise, this was like the worst by far. Like the airports were full. It was very anxiety-inducing. I'm going to be challenging sesame this time, which I'm really excited for. So let's go. Okay, so this is sesame, and it's 2 grams each. Cool.
So it turns out that sesame is actually not going to be capped, which is amazing. So I could eat as much sesame as I want as of like right now. So I am really excited to just eat. I want to eat the sushi. I want to eat the bread. I just want to eat everything. It's going to be great. Bye-bye. So, just so you know, for this visit, I'll be continuing peanut, and I'll be introducing pecan in gummy form. And now it's time to try sesame, so I'm excited. Also, it's New Year's, so Happy New Year. Hope it's happy. But before I eat sesame for the first time, I just want to say a quick thank you. My friends, that's where I'll have to leave you for today. But this journey's far from over. I still have many more weeks to go in this program. We take so many things for granted, and for many, eating food is one of them. I've come so far, and I feel so accomplished. And even though I'm sure I'll be sick of nuts by the end of all this, I'll never take what I can eat for granted and what I'll be able to eat in the future. Thanks to my dad, who was right there with me pretty much the entire time, every second of this trip. My mom for also being there virtually. And thanks to the doctors and the nurses who just made this whole thing possible. They've researched for years to allow this to happen. And most of all, thank you. Yeah, you right there. Yeah, thank you for watching and listening. Even though some of the more technical bits were a little bit boring, you've watched me grow as a person through the production of this project, and even the production quality of the project itself has grown. So, thank you so much, and goodbye. For now. Alright, well, don't really know how to use chopsticks, but this is my first time eating sesame in the form of an avocado roll. Here, let me try it. Okay, it's a struggle. Almost got it. Oh, we got it. See, this is it. It's got sesame on it, kind of like coated all over, but not too much. So, how should I do this? Should I like take a big old bite, or should I pop it in my mouth? The whole. Okay, all right, here we go. It's like, holy crap, I'm emotional. Okay. I really like the texture. It's really good.
No reaction?
It's too soon to tell.
I'm freaking out.
Yeah, it freaked me out too. Yeah, normally it would be too soon to tell if I have a reaction or not. So we'll see. Okay, so now I'm gonna try dipping it in soy sauce and wasabi. And I cannot express how overjoyed I am that I'm like, these little seeds are what what caused me so much pain. And so I'm so excited that I've conquered them, and now I can just enjoy what I've had to just watch people eat for years, you know. It's probably strong. Wow. I don't even taste the seeds. Like, what's the point of having them on there? That's awesome. I'm so grateful for this opportunity. I'm so happy. I can't wait to eat even more foods in the future. Yay! Thank you for joining me on this journey.
I can't believe it, because when you were a baby, and you ate hummus or you had bread with sesame on it, you start screaming and crying, and your dad and I would be freaking out because we didn't know what was wrong with you.
Yeah.
And we didn't know that you had a food allergy yet until kind of we started seeing a pattern. And then we narrowed it down to sesame, which was weird because we never heard of a sesame allergy before.
Yeah.
And it's more common now, but 15 years ago or 14 years ago, we didn't hear anything about it, and your dad and I don't have food allergies, so we didn't know what was common or not. So sesame was weird, but I'm just amazed because it was scary.
Right.
It has been scary.
Yeah.
I'm happy for you.
Yeah. Do you have any thoughts, Dad?
That was a wonderful speech.
I'm really happy for you.
I'm eating.
Once again, thank you everyone for probably saving my life.